The Whispers of Lost Civilizations. 200 words. Azure waves stretch infinitely toward the horizon. The camera dives beneath the surface, revealing underwater ruins, stone blocks arranged in unnatural geometry, covered in marine growth. The sun pierces the water in ethereal beams. Narrator VO. For centuries, we have stared into the abyss of time and seen shadows move. Civilizations that textbooks forgot. Cities that sank beneath waves or sand. Voices silenced so completely that only echoes remain. This is where history ends and mystery begins. A dimly lit study lined with ancient maps. Dr. Elena Vasquez, 40s, sharp-eyed, silver-streaked hair, sits surrounded by scrolls and digital tablets. Dr. Vasquez. We call them lost because we cannot bear to admit they might have chosen to disappear. Every advanced culture leaves traces. But what if the traces are staring us in the face and we simply lack the language to read them? Cut 2. Title card. The Whispers of Lost Civilizations. Scene 1. The Atlantis Enigma. EXT. Santorini, Greece sunset. The caldera glows orange. Tourists marvel at the sunset, unaware of what lies beneath their feet. Narrator VO. 3,600 years ago, an island exploded with the force of 40 atomic bombs. Thera, modern Santorini, obliterated the Minoan world. But was this the Atlantis Plato described, or merely a sibling tragedy? INT. Archaeological Site AKROTRI Day. Professor James Morrison, 60s, weathered hands, tweed jacket, brushes dust from a fresco showing a bustling harbor city. Professor Morrison. Dusting carefully. Look at the sophistication. 3-story buildings, indoor plumbing, a trade network spanning the Mediterranean. This wasn't a primitive outpost, it was the Silicon Valley of its age. Then, nothing. Narrator VO. The Minoans vanished so completely that their language, linear A, remains undeciphered. We cannot read their thoughts. We cannot know their final words. Reenactment INT. Minoan Palace Day, 1500 BCE. A scribe, Demas, frantically carves symbols into a clay tablet. The ground trembles, plaster falls. Through a window, the sky turns blood red. KADMOS. To his apprentice. The mountain is angry, the sea is rising, we must record. A deafening roar, the screen whites out. Back to INT. Oxford University Lecture Hall Day. Dr. Vasquez addresses students, clicking through satellite images. Dr. Vasquez. Here's what troubles me. Plato placed Atlantis beyond the Pillars of Hercules, Gibraltar. Santorini is 1,500 miles east, but satellite radar now shows submerged structures off the coast of Spain, not natural formations, right angles, grid patterns. Student. Could they be natural geological features? Dr. Vasquez. Nature doesn't do 90-degree angles over 5-kilometer grids. Nature is chaotic. This is architecture. Cut 2. EXT. Cadiz Coast, Spain Day. A research vessel, the Oceanic Sentinel, bobbing in rough seas. Marine archaeologist Sophia, 30s, fearless, operates a sonar rig. Sophia. Into radio. Diving to 120 meters. Visibility is poor, but I'm seeing something unnatural. Underwater POV. Mud swirls. Then, impossibly, a stone block emerges carved with what looks like a trident symbol. Another block, a wall, a city sleeping in darkness. Narrator VO. We have mapped Mars more thoroughly than our own coastal shelves. What else sleeps beneath the waves? And why do all these lost civilizations share one chilling detail? They were not conquered. They were erased. Scene 2. Göbekli Tepe, the world's first temple. EXT, southeastern Turkey pre-dawn. A barren hill rises from the plain. Heavy machinery sits silent. This is Göbekli Tepe, Potbelly Hill. Narrator VO. In 1994, a shepherd noticed something strange in the dirt. What emerged rewrote human history. Overnight, our timeline collapsed. INT, excavation 10th day. KLAUS SCHMIDT, in archive footage, now deceased, examines a T-shaped pillar carved with a menagerie of predators. KLAUS SCHMIDT archive. This is 11,600 years old. That's 6,000 years before Stonehenge, 6,000 years before the pyramids. We were supposed to be hunter-gatherers then. But this is a cathedral built by people who shouldn't have existed yet. Cut 2. Reenactment night, 9600 BCE. Torchlight flickers on the pillars. Shaman architects, faces painted with ochre, direct hundreds of workers. They move multi-ton stones without wheels, without metal. Shaman. Chanting. When the stars align, we raise the stones. The watchers must remember. Back to EXT, Göbekli Tepe. Dr. Vasquez runs her hand over a carving of a vulture. Dr. Vasquez. Every 50 years they buried it, deliberately, thousands of tons of earth covering their greatest work. Why? Was it a calendar, a warning? We found this. She holds up a 3D scan of a pillar. Hidden beneath a lion carving, microscopic symbols, invisible to the naked eye. Dr. Vasquez. It appears only under certain light frequencies, a code within a code. We've been trying to crack it for 3 years. It might be mathematics, it might be a star map, or it might be a message to us 12,000 years in the future. Narrator VO. Göbekli Tepe predates agriculture, which means religion didn't come after farming, it came before. Civilization didn't create gods. Gods, or the idea of them, created civilization. And then, they buried their creation. INT, laboratory night. A carbon dating machine hums. Technician LUCA reads results, his face paling. LUCA. Into phone. Dr. Vasquez, the new sample from layer III. It's older, much older. We're looking at 15,000 years. Narrator VO. With every shovel of dirt, Göbekli Tepe pushes our origins further back into mystery. We were never simple. We have always been magnificent and terrified of something. Scene 3. The Indus Valley vanishing. EXT, Mohenjo-Daro, Pakistan sunset. Ruins of a perfect grid city. Streets intersect at precise angles. No palaces, no temples, no monuments to ego. Narrator VO. 4,000 years ago, a civilization of 5 million people lived in planned cities with sewers cleaner than Victorian London's. Then they vanished. Not slowly, not gradually, in a single generation. INT, Site Museum Day. Archaeologist RAJIVPATEL 50s, elegant, haunted, examines pottery shards. RAJIVPATEL. No weapons of war, no evidence of invasion, but look at this. He shows a skeleton, bones fused in unnatural positions. RAJIVPATEL. Radiation levels. In some skeletal remains, we find radiation equivalent to Hiroshima survivors. Not everywhere, just in specific blast zones. Dr. Vasquez, VO intercut. Some call it natural contamination, but the isotope ratios are wrong. They're consistent with fast neutron bombardment. Something happened here that our history books cannot explain. Reenactment day, 1700 BCE. A bustling market. Suddenly the sky turns brilliant white. A wind hotter than fire sweeps through. People turn to shadows on walls. The city empties in hours. Back to EXT, HAREPPAN site day. SOPHIACHAN, now in Pakistan. uses ground-penetrating radar. Chen. The scans show something bizarre. Under the final layer, there's a vitrification layer. Sand turned to glass. You need temperatures of 1,500 degrees Celsius for that. Volcanoes don't do this. Meteor impacts do. Narrator VO. One theory, a cosmic airburst like Tunguska. Another, a nuclear event. Impossible, of course, unless the impossible merely waits for us to find it. INT, Library of Congress Night. Dr. Vasquez pores over ancient Vedic texts. Dr. Vasquez. Reading. The thunderbolt of the gods, brighter than 1,000 suns, turned cities to ash and poisoned the land for generations. This is from the Mahabharata, written millennia before nuclear physics. She looks up at the camera, eyes gleaming with dangerous knowledge. Dr. Vasquez. History is a palimpsest. We write over the old text, but the indentations remain. The Indus Valley didn't collapse. It was cauterized from memory. Scene 4. The Library of Alexandria's Ghost. INT. Reconstruction Alexandria Library Day 48 BCE. Infinite scrolls. Scholars debating. The greatest repository of human knowledge. Narrator VO. They say Caesar burned it by accident. They say Caliph Omar ordered its destruction. If it contradicts the Quran, it's heresy. If it agrees, it's redundant. Both stories are lies. INT. Vatican Archives Present Day. A secret archivist, face obscured, slides a scroll across the table. It's a 15th century copy of an inventory. Secret archivist. Whispered. The library didn't burn, it was moved. In 391 CE, Emperor Theodosius ordered pagan temples closed. The librarians knew. They shipped everything. We have receipts. Caravans to Constantinople, to Persia, to a place called the Keep. Dr. Vasquez VO. The Keep, mentioned in 3 separate sources. A fortress in the Caucasus Mountains, built by an order of scholar monks. Its location was encoded using Ptolemaic star maps. EXT, Caucasus Mountains Day. Sophia treks through snow, GPS in hand. Sophia. The coordinates match, but there's nothing here, just rock and ice. She taps the rock face, it echoes hollow. Narrator VO. Ground-penetrating radar shows a cavity the size of Grand Central Station, but the entrance, it requires a key described in a text that doesn't exist yet. We're waiting for archaeology to catch up with espionage. Part I end. Fade out. Part II. GHOSTS and the Machine, Ancient Technology. 500 words. Fade in. EXT. Mediterranean Sea, dawn 1900. Fishermen pull their nets. One net snags, impossibly heavy. They haul up a corroded bronze lump. Narrator VO. We imagine progress as a straight line, but history is a shattered mirror, and sometimes the shards show reflections that shouldn't exist. Title card. GHOSTS and the Machine. Scene 1. The Antikythra Mechanism. INT. National Archaeological Museum, Athens Day. Dr. Vasquez examines the mechanism through a microscope. Gears within gears, smaller than a fingernail. Dr. Vasquez. This is a 2,000-year-old analog computer. It predicted eclipses, tracked planetary orbits, calculated the timing of the Olympics. The craftsmanship is 14th century level, but it was made in 100 BCE. We lost this knowledge for 1,500 years. Flashback INT. Alexandrian Workshop Night. Archimedes, played by Mark Strong in cameo, finalizes the mechanism. His assistant, young Hypatia, watches. Archimedes. This will outlast empires. When Rome falls, when darkness comes, this will speak for us. Hypatia. Will anyone understand its voice? Archimedes. Sadly, understanding is the curse of the few. Back to INT, STN4D linear accelerator day. The mechanism undergoes X-ray tomography. Three-dimensional gears appear on screen. Technician. Dr. Vasquez, you're going to want to see this. The scan reveals microscopic inscriptions, words we couldn't see before. Dr. Vasquez. Reading. For the one who comes after, the great cycle returns in 26,000 years. Prepare. It's a warning. The mechanism doesn't just track time, it measures precession, the wobble of Earth's axis. They knew about axial precession 2,000 years before Newton. Narrator VO. The Antikythera mechanism wasn't a calendar, it was a countdown. Scene 2, the Baghdad Battery. INT, Iraq Museum, Baghdad flashback to 1938. Dr. Walhelm Koenig discovers a clay pot containing a copper cylinder and iron rod. Narrator VO. A 2,000-year-old battery in Mesopotamia, it shouldn't exist. EXT, Baghdad 2003 night. Explosions, the museum looted, the battery gone. INT, private collection present day. A wealthy collector, face in shadow, holds the battery. It's encased in lucite. Collector. Voice distorted. Dr. Koenig found 12 of them. Wired together, they produce 5 volts, enough to electroplate gold. The Sumerians had electricity, but they used it for art, not industry. They understood something we've forgotten. Power without wisdom is a disease. Dr. Vasquez, VO intercut. The Baghdad Battery is a footnote because it embarrasses us. It suggests our ancestors weren't primitive. They were different. They chose a different path. Reenactment INT, Parisian Laboratory, 1940. A replica battery powers a small LED. It glows faintly. Narrator VO. If they had electricity, what else? Wireless power, light bulbs. The Egyptian Dendera light carving shows exactly that. A bulb, a filament, a cable. INT, DENDER Temple, Egypt. Sophia Chen films the controversial carving. Sophia Chen. The mainstream explanation, a lotus flower and a snake, but look at the proportions. The insulator, the wavelength patterns, it's a Crookes tube, a primitive X-ray machine. She touches the carving, the stone is warm. Sophia Chen. Whispering. It's still humming. Scene 3, the Nazca Lines power grid theory. EXT, Nazca Plateau, Peru dawn. Hundreds of geometric lines stretch for miles, only visible from the air. Narrator VO. They've been called alien landing strips, religious pathways, water maps, but what if there's something else? What if they're a circuit board? INT, Research Station Day. Dr. Vasquez spreads a map overlaid with electromagnetic readings. Dr. Vasquez. The lines are carved into a piezoelectric quartz plateau. When the wind blows, and it blows constantly, it generates static electricity. The animal figures, their antennas, capacitors. This is a giant energy harvester built 1,500 years ago. EXT, Plateau Day. Sophia Chen walks a line holding an EMF meter. It spikes. Sophia Chen. I'm reading 0.8 milligauss. That's impossible without a power source. Suddenly her equipment shorts out. The air shimmers. Narrator VO. The Nazca didn't disappear. They ascended, say the locals, into light. Scene 4, the Crystal SKULLS data storage. INT, British Museum vault. A crystal skull sits in a climate-controlled case. Dr. Vasquez examines it with a laser. Dr. Vasquez. Quartz crystal can store data. That's how your computer works. These skulls, Maya, allegedly, are carved against the crystal's natural axis. It would shatter under modern tools, yet they're flawless. She shines UV light. The skull glows, revealing internal structures, holographic data layers. Dr. Vasquez. This isn't art, it's archival storage. Each skull contains. I don't know how much information, petabytes, we don't have the reader. Flashback INT. Mayan Temple Night 800 CE. A high priest places a skull in a niche. Light pulses through it, projecting star maps on the walls. High priest. The memory of our world, for when the world forgets. Back to INT. Museum Night. The skull pulses once faintly. Dr. Vasquez's phone receives a text, coordinates, no sender. Dr. Vasquez. Reading. Return to the source, it's communicating. Part II end. Fade out. Part III, the vanished when people evaporate. 800 words. Fade in. EXT, Roanoke Island, North Carolina dusk. Croatone carved into a tree trunk. The wind whispers through empty palisades. Narrator VO. 117 people, gone between supply runs. No bones, no graves, no struggle, just 2 words, Croatone, and a mystery that has swallowed generations. Title card. The Vanished. Scene 1, the Roanoke Colony. INT, British Library Day. Dr. Vasquez examines John White's original map. Under multispectral imaging, a hidden fort symbol appears beneath a patch. Dr. Vasquez. White knew where they went, he painted over it. Why? Look at the patch, it's not correction, it's concealment. This is intelligence work. EXT, Hatteras Island Day. Sophiachen excavates a Native American village site. She finds a copper ring, English manufacture. Then another. Then a slate tablet with Elizabethan script. Sophiachen. They didn't vanish. They were absorbed, assimilated, but why the secrecy? INT, Pub London Night. An old local historian, 80s, whiskey-scarred voice, leans close. Historian. The colonists found something on that island, a cave filled with, not gold, knowledge. The natives called it the Talking Stone. White was ordered by Raleigh to hide it. The colony didn't disappear, it was relocated to protect the secret. Narrator VO. Croatone wasn't a clue, it was a warning, the name of the tribe that knew the truth. Scene 2, the Anasazi Cliff Dwellers. EXT, Mesa Verde, Colorado Day. Incredible stone dwellings carved into cliffs, abandoned 800 years ago. Narrator VO. The Anasazi, ancient ones, built cities in stone, then walked away. But their descendants, the Pueblo, refused to call them vanished. INT, Pueblo Elder's Home Night. Elder Joseph standing bare, 70s, eyes like flint, smokes a pipe. Joseph standing bare. We didn't vanish. We chose to become invisible. The earth was sick. The stars were wrong. We went into the kivas, our ceremonial rooms, and performed the closing ceremony. We sealed the cities. We walked out as people and into the mesas as spirits. You can't find us because you're looking for buildings. We're in the wind now. EXT, CHACO Canyon Night. SOPHIACHAN's team sets up infrared cameras. At 3:00 a.m., the equipment captures heat signatures, human-shaped, moving through solid rock. Tech. Whispering. Are those ghosts? SOPHIACHEN. Looking at data. No, they're thermal vents, perfectly timed. The Anasazi engineered the entire canyon as a geothermal clock. They didn't leave. They went underground. Scene 3, the Franklin Expedition. EXT, Arctic Ice 1845 reenactment. HMS Erebus in terror locked in ice. Men huddle frostbitten mad. Narrator VO. 129 men. The best equipped expedition in history, all dead, cannibalism, lead poisoning, madness. But the ships were found in 2014 and 2016, and they revealed a different story. INT, Inuit Oral History Center Day. Inuit historian KALA, 40s, translating ancient stories, plays a recording of her grandmother. KALA. Translating. The white men came starving. They asked for seal meat. We gave them food, but they were cursed. They carried a box. Inside, a demon that sang. It made them see things. They turned on each other. The box is still there under the ice. We told the search parties where. They never looked. EXT, King William Island Day. SOPHIACHEN in Arctic gear follows coordinates from the oral history. Ground radar shows a metal box 30 feet down. SOPHIACHEN. Into radio. It's not a supply cache. The dimensions. It's a Faraday cage. They were shielding something. Narrator VO. The Franklin expedition had a secret mission. Test the new galvanic compass, an early electromagnetic navigation device. It malfunctioned, scrambled their brains. The Inuit called it a demon. We call it technology. Scene 4, the MH370 parallel. INT, Control Room Malaysia 2014. Radar screens flicker. Flight MH370 vanishes. Narrator VO. Modern vanishings are no less mysterious. 239 people, a 777, no debris for 508 days, then a flaperon on Reunion Island. INT, Oceanography Lab Day. Dr. Vasquez analyzes ocean current models. Dr. Vasquez. The debris pattern is wrong. It didn't drift, it was placed. Satellite data shows the plane flew for 7 hours after losing contact. It landed somewhere. Diego Garcia, the Maldives, a U.S. drone base. EXT, South Indian Ocean Day. SOPHIACHEN submarine scans the seabed. They find not a plane but a perfect circle of seafloor, scorched. SOPHIACHEN. Whispering. This wasn't a crash. This was an extraction. Part III end. Fade out. Part IV. The unreadable manuscripts that guard SECRETS. 200 words. Fade in. INT, Yale University Library Night. A single lamp illuminates the Voynich manuscript. Pages of alien plants, naked women in green baths, an unknown script. Narrator VO. Some books refuse to be read. They are not written to be understood. They are written to be protected. Title card. The Unreadable. Scene 1, the Voynich manuscript. INT, Yale Continuous. Dr. Vasquez turns pages with latex-gloved hands. Dr. Vasquez. Carbon dated to 14/04/1438, 240 pages, no corrections, no mistakes. Who writes a 240-page book without a single error? Someone not writing in a known language. INT, NSA Cryptography Division Day. Chief Cryptographer David Kaa Chen, 50s, unassuming genius, runs algorithms. David Kaa Chen. We've tried 400 languages. It's not a substitution cipher. It's not phonetic. The word entropy is too low for natural language, too high for random gibberish. It's compressed, like a zip file. EXT, Prague 1600s reenactment. Alchemist John D., played by David Thewlis, receives the manuscript from Emperor Rudolph II. John D. Voice trembling. This is the Book of Enoch, the language before Babel. It contains the true names of things. To speak them is to command them. Back to INT, MIT Lab Day. Linguistic AI Project Gabriel processes the manuscript. The screen flickers. It begins generating responses in Voynich script. Dr. Vasquez. Reading. The keeper waits. The garden is real. The stars are wrong. It's answering our questions before we ask them. Narrator VO. The Voynich manuscript might be a pharmacopoeia. It might be a cipher for Cathar heresies, or it might be a field guide to a dimension we cannot yet perceive. Scene 2. The Codex Seraphnus. INT. Rare Bookshop, Rome, 1981. Publisher Franco Maria RICCI unwraps a manuscript. The pages show surreal art, bleeding fruit, chairs that copulate, an alien alphabet. Narrator VO. 1978. An Italian architect creates an encyclopedia of a world that doesn't exist. Or does it? INT. Vasquez's office day. She compares the codex to satellite imagery of exoplanet Kepler 442b. Dr. Vasquez. The biomechanics match. The plant life, photosynthesis based on red dwarf stars. This isn't fiction, it's a report. EXT. Elugii Serafini Studio, Rome Day. The reclusive Serafini, 70s birdlike, speaks through a translator. Serafini. I didn't write it, I channeled it. The images came in dreams, the language wrote itself, I was just the hand. Sophia Chen VO. We analyze the script, it's not random, it's a conlang with consistent grammar, but the vocabulary, it maps to quantum physics equations. Serafini failed math in school. Scene 3. The Dead Sea Scrolls, the missing books. INT. Qumran Caves Day. Sophia Chen discovers a hidden chamber behind a false wall. Inside scroll jars, untouched. Narrator VO. The Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered in 1947, but they were catalogued in 1952, 5 years. What happened in between? INT. Israel Museum Vault. Dr. Vasquez examines Scroll 3Q15, the Copper Scroll. It's a treasure map. Dr. Vasquez. 63 locations, 900 tons of gold, silver, scrolls, buried across Judea, but the directions are impossible. Under the step of the eastern colonnade where the water flows upward. Water doesn't flow upward. EXT. Jerusalem Day. Following the Copper Scroll's coordinates leads to a cistern under the Temple Mount. Ground-penetrating radar shows a chamber. Inside, a metal box. Sophia Chen. We can't open it, not here, the political situation. Narrator VO. The box is made of an alloy unknown in the ancient world. It's been there for 2,000 years, and it's still sealed, not with a lock, with a frequency. INT. Classified briefing room. A general slams photos on the table. General. The scrolls talk about giants, Nephilim, those who came from above. We have DNA from a tooth found in Qumran. It's not human, not fully. Dr. Vasquez. What are you suggesting? General. I'm not suggesting, I'm telling. The missing scrolls, we have them. They describe a war in the heavens, a treaty, and a promise to return. Scene 4. The Mohenjo-Daro tablets. EXT. Easter Island sunset. The Moe stare inland. Sophia Chen holds a wooden tablet covered in glyphs. Narrator VO. Easter Island's written language is a reverse boustrophedon, alternating directions, mirrored glyphs. It can only be read by turning the tablet 180 degrees between lines. Why create a script that's deliberately difficult? INT. Hangar Day. The tablet is placed in a cradle that rotates it according to the script's instructions. A computer reads the sequence. Computer voice. Reading. When the canoes stopped coming, we ate the trees. When the trees were gone, we raised the statues to look for help. When help didn't come, We wrote our story backward so only the past could read it. Dr. Vasquez. They didn't describe their history. They encoded it. The tablets are a time capsule, but they're dissolving. The wood is alive. It's writing itself out of existence. Part IV end. Fade out. Part V, monuments to the impossible. 300 words. Fade in. EXT, Stonehenge summer solstice dawn. Thousands gather, the sun aligns, but the camera zooms past to a small, unmarked stone 100 meters away. It vibrates. Narrator VO. We build monuments to remember, but some remember for us. They are not stone. They are memory made solid. Title card. Monuments to the impossible. Scene 1, Stonehenge, the Sound Stone. INT, Acoustics Lab, Oxford. Dr. Vasquez plays a recording from Stonehenge. It's a hum, felt more than heard. Dr. Vasquez. The blue stones ring when struck. They were transported 150 miles from Wales. Why? Because they sing. The entire monument is a resonator. At solstice, it produces a standing wave. It opens something. EXT, Stonehenge Solstice Night. Sophia stands at the center, wearing EEG sensors. As the sun rises, her brain waves flatline, then spike to gamma frequencies. Sophia. Voice distant. I can see all of them every solstice. Layered, it's a recording. The stones are tape. Narrator VO. Stonehenge is a time machine, not for bodies, for moments. Scene 2, Easter Island, the walking statues. EXT, Ariano Ararikyu Quarry Day. Half-finished moai lie in the rock. Sophiachen measures 180 tons. Narrator VO. The Rapa Nui had no wheels, no draft animals. How did they move 887 statues, averaging 14 tons up to 11 miles? INT, Experimental Archaeology Site. A team attempts to walk a replica moai using ropes, as islanders described. Team leader. Panting. It works, but the legends say the statues walked by themselves. Mana, spirit power. Dr. Vasquez VO. The soil around the moai is magnetized. The statues contain iron-rich basalt if you generate a strong enough electromagnetic field. EXT Quarry Night. During a solar storm, the moai glow faintly. Compass needles spin. Sophiachen. Reading magnetometer. The statues are aligned to geomagnetic anomalies. They didn't carve them here and move them. They carved them where they needed to stand. The rock remembers its place. Scene 3, the Great Pyramid Power Plant Theory. INT, King's Chamber Day. Dr. Vasquez measures the granite sarcophagus. It resonates at 438 Hz. Dr. Vasquez. The Great Pyramid isn't a tomb, it's a machine. The King's Chamber is a resonator. The Grand Gallery is a waveguide. The air shafts. They're microwave conduits. This building produces energy. EXT, Giza Plateau Night. During a thunderstorm, lightning strikes the pyramid apex. It doesn't explode, it glows. The charge travels down the shafts into the subterranean chamber. Narrator VO. The pyramid sits on an aquifer. Water flowing under pressure generates electricity. The pyramid amplifies it. It's a Tesla coil the size of a skyscraper. INT, Subterranean Chamber Day. Sophiachen discovers a hidden shaft. At the bottom, a pool of mercury. Sophiachen. Mercury vortex engines. Ancient texts describe them. This is a spaceship, a stargate. Dr. Vasquez VO. The pyramid builders left a message in the dimensions. The speed of light in meters per second is encoded in the pyramid's latitude. They knew everything. Scene 4, the Sphinx water erosion. EXT, Sphinx Enclosure Day. Dr. Vasquez points to vertical erosion patterns on the Sphinx enclosure walls. Dr. Vasquez. This wasn't wind. This was water, heavy rainfall. The last time Egypt had that much rain was 10,000 BC. The Sphinx is older than civilization. INT Seismic Lab. Sound waves reveal a chamber under the Sphinx's paw. Tech. It's a room, 30 by 40 feet, something metallic inside. Narrator VO. The Hall of Records that Edgar Cayce predicted, but we can't open it. The Egyptian government won't permit it. Why? INT Cairo Ministry Day. An official, face blurred, speaks off record. Official. We drilled a borehole in '98, the air that came out. It changed the drill operator. He aged 20 years in a week. He spoke a language no one knew. Then he died. Some doors are closed for a reason. Scene 5. The final monument, Earth itself. EXT, Google Earth Satellite View. Lines appear. The Nazca lines, Stonehenge, Giza, Easter Island, Angkor Wat, all connected by a single great circle. Narrator VO. They are not separate. They are nodes. A global network built by civilizations that never met, unless they did. INT, Mission Control Day. A global seismic event. All monuments resonate simultaneously. Dr. Vasquez. They're waking up. The cycle is ending. EXT Space. The Earth hums. A signal pulses from the monuments, converging above the planet. Narrator VO. We built them to remember, but maybe they were built to remind that we are not the first, that we will not be the last, that history is a wheel and we are merely spoke. Final montage. The Antikythera mechanism ticks toward a future date. Göbekli Tepe's pillars glow under infrared. The Voynich manuscript's pages turn themselves. The Sphinx's chamber pulses with blue light. The Roanoke colonists' faces appear in tree bark. Narrator VO. We search for answers in the past because the future is already written. We just can't read it yet. The monuments stand. The manuscripts wait. The vanished whisper. And the mysteries. The mysteries are not problems to be solved. They are guardians of truths we are not ready to know. Fade to black. Text on screen. In the last year, 47 new ancient sites have been discovered by satellite. 12 show evidence of advanced technology. The past is not dead. It is not even past. Credits roll over silence. Temporal RIFTS and clockwork anomalies. Extended script section, deep dive. Fade in. INT, Archive Vault, Zurich, Switzerland night. Rain lashes against the reinforced steel doors. Inside, rows of dehumidified canisters hold artifacts deemed too dangerous for public display. Dr. Elena Vasquez walks through the aisle, her flashlight beam cutting through dust motes. She stops at a locker marked classified/causality leak. Narrator VO. History is linear, we accept this as fact. Cause leads to effect, past dictates future, but sometimes the arrow bends. Sometimes the clockwork ticks backward. Extreme close-up. On a glass case rests a pocket watch, brass casing, engraved with dates from the future, 2025, 2030, 2044. The hands are stuck. The pendulum inside spins freely, defying gravity. Dr. Vasquez. Softly. It doesn't belong to anyone who died before the 20th century. Yet the battery. There is no battery, just a mechanism that generates its own motion indefinitely. Cut to. INT, Laboratory, Berlin Day. Physicist Dr. Hans Weber 50s, intense gaze holds a Geiger counter near the watch. It clicks rhythmically, not radiation but something else. A frequency. Dr. Weber. This isn't nuclear decay. Look at the waveform. It's a tachyon pulse. Matter that travels faster than light. If this object exists in our timeline, Einstein's laws are wrong, or he's hiding them. Reenactment INT. Windsor Castle, 1840. A Victorian gentleman opens a drawer, pulls out the same watch, he winds it, it hums. On the face, instead of Roman numerals, there are star charts. He frowns. Outside the window, snow falls upward. Dr. Weber VO. Reports like this appear in private journals across centuries. The watchmaker of 1840, the inventor of 1612, all describing devices that shouldn't exist. They call it the Chronos leak. INT. University Office, New York Day. Dr. Vasquez sits across from ELARAJENSCN, 20s, brilliant grad student, wearing headphones around neck. ELARA. You think this is a hoax, right? Dr. Vasquez. In my line of work, hoax is the word we use for things we haven't understood yet. Why would someone build a watch that tells you when you'll die? ELARA. It's not about dying, it's about when. The dates engraved, they align with major geopolitical shifts. 2025 marks the depletion of fresh water reserves globally. 2030, the solar flare cycle. She pulls up a holographic map. Red dots connect the dates. ELARA. These aren't predictions, they're reminders. Someone wanted us to know, but they used time itself as the medium. Because if you can't trust the past, you can't trust the present. Narrator VO. Elara discovered a pattern. Every anomaly in human history, the sudden rise of literacy, the disappearance of dinosaurs, allegedly, the birth of agriculture, coincides with a spike in temporal energy readings, as if reality itself paused to let us evolve. Scene, the crystal CLOCKTOWR. EXT, Singapore-Dubai comparison site day. Sophia Chen stands before the Dubai clock tower replica. In the shadows, a smaller ancient stone tower stands nearby, untouched for millennia. SOPHICHEN. Voice memo recorder. Local folklore calls this the Tower of Tears. They say the stones weep saltwater at night. My instruments are picking up gravitational waves emanating from the core. It's lighter than air. She approaches the entrance. The door has no handle, only two circular depressions resembling eyes. SOPHICHEN. To camera. If I put my fingers here. She presses, nothing happens. She sighs, stepping back. Suddenly the ground vibrates. A low thrum resonates through her boots. The sky above darkens instantly despite it being noon. Technician on comms. Sophia, sensors are spiking. You're creating a localized black hole, get back. SOPHICHEN. No, it's not a black hole, it's a window. She shines her UV light on the carvings above the door. The hieroglyphs shift colors. Gold turns to blue. The symbols rearrange themselves. It is translating in real time. Voice over the monument. Translated via computer software. The cycle closes, the children return. Narrator VO. Is time a circle? Do civilizations repeat forever, rising and falling, only to find each other in the dark? If the clock tower is a lock, what does it protect? Part VII, the shadow network who hid the truth. Deep dive into conspiracy and history. Title card. The Keepers of Silence. Fade in. EXT, Library of Congress basement night. Dr. Vasquez moves through stacks labeled restricted, EYES only. She pulls a file folder. It contains photographs taken in the 1920s, men in formal suits standing before ruins that look suspiciously like Atlantis. Their faces are blurred out intentionally. Dr. Vasquez. There is no library without a librarian. And somewhere in history, there is a group dedicated to keeping certain books unread. INT, Interview Room Safe House Day. A masked individual sits. Only their hands are visible. They wear a silver ring etched with the Eye of Ra. Anonymous source. We are not the enemy. We are the dam. Without us, humanity would have drowned in knowledge too fast. Technology is a fire. You can cook or burn. Dr. Vasquez. So you destroyed the Library of Alexandria. Zors. Leaning forward. We saved what we could. Then we hid it. When the world was ready for the Antikythera mechanism, we let it surface. When it wasn't, we let it sink. Narrator VO. The keepers are a myth. Or are they? Throughout history, sudden changes in archaeological policy coincide with the discovery of advanced technology. Excavations halted, sites burned, scientists discredited. Scene: The Purge of 1912. Archival footage, grainy film. Newsreel from 1912. Reporters gather outside a dig site in Peru. Troops surround a crate. Reporter. And the Ministry of Defense has declared the contents national security property. They are confiscating the mummies found in the tunnels beneath Machu Picchu. Voyager VOICOVER. They weren't mummies. They were biological samples, genetic markers of a species that predates Homo sapiens. The government realized that if people knew they weren't alone, the global economy would collapse. Religion crumbled, order dissolved. So they buried the truth under layers of bureaucracy. INT, Underground Facility, Geneva, present day. Sophia Chen sneaks into a maintenance corridor. She wears thermal gloves to bypass sensors. She enters a server room. Rows of hard drives pulse with blue light. Sophia Chen. Whispering. This isn't data storage. This is DNA storage. She plugs in a drive. It reads Project Atlas. Files open. Maps of cities underwater. Schematics for zero-point energy. Plans for atmospheric manipulation. Suddenly, red lights flood the room. An alarm sounds. Not mechanical, it's a siren that vibrates in her teeth. Computer voice. Unauthorized access detected. Protocol Omega initiated. Doors slam shut. Sophia runs to a ventilation shaft. It's tight. She squeezes through. Behind her, the screen glows. Subjects exhausted. Containment failed. EXT. STRETS of Geneva night. Sophia emerges from a drain soaked in oil. She checks her equipment. One drive is missing from her bag. She didn't take it. It vanished. Dr. Vasquez VO. They know she found the archive. But why did the drive vanish? Did it leave on its own? Or was it programmed to disappear unless activated by a specific key? Scene: The Agents. INT, Diner America, midday. Two men sit in a booth, black coats, sunglasses indoors, coffee cups steaming. Agent 1. The girl found the node. Agent 2. Kill the mission, erase her digital footprint, make it look like an accident. Agent 1. What if she already downloaded it? Agent 2. Then the download was incomplete. Information without the decryption key is just noise. They stand up and walk out. Outside, Sophia waits in the shadows. She watched them. She knows they are coming. Dr. Vasquez, voice recording. We are not just exploring the past. We are fighting a war in the present, for the privilege of knowing who we are. Part VIII, Biological Memories and Genetic Whispers. Exploration of Science and Spirit. Title card. The Blood Remembers. Fade in. INT, Clinic Kathmandu, Nepal day. Patients lie on beds. They are all connected to EEG machines. They are meditating in groups. Narrator VO. Jung called it the collective unconscious. Modern science calls it genetic memory. Is it true? Can memories pass from parent to child? Dr. Vasquez. Sitting with patient. Tell me about your dream last night. Patient Nepali. Irish accent in English. The sea was red. The ships had wings. We ran along a wall made of glass. The sound of drums shook the ground. Dr. Vasquez. That happened thousands of years ago. How do you speak English? How do you know the language? Patient. Dawning realization. I don't know how, it just came, when I closed my eyes. INT, Lab HARVRD Day. Geneticist Dr. ALISONCOHN explains a chart. Dr. COHN. We found epigenetic markers that reactivate dormant genes. These genes code for traits that haven't been seen in humans for millions of years. Gills, third eyelids, neural processing speeds twice that of modern man. Narrator VO. Our DNA holds a blueprint for a different evolution. What if civilization wasn't lost? What if it went dormant, waiting for the trigger to wake up? Scene the Reawakening. EXT, Desert NEAR Death Valley Day. A group of awakened individuals stand in a circle. Their skin glistens slightly, reflecting sunlight differently. Dr. Vasquez. Are you safe? Spirit leader. Safe, we were asleep. The virus of forgetfulness has left our veins. The pain is gone. The hunger is gone. Sophia. Whispering to camera. Their heart rates are synchronized. One beat for everyone, like a hive mind. Flashback INT, Mayan Sanctuary 800 CE. A ritual takes place. People ingest a psychoactive compound derived from fungi found deep underground. Visions fill their minds. They see the stars moving backwards. They hear voices from the future telling them to sleep until the sun rises again. Back to present. EXT Desert Night. The group begins to glow. Bioluminescence spreads across their bodies. Light pulses from their chests. Narrator VO. This isn't magic. It's biology pushed to its edge. Could this be the source of the Atlantean energy? A genetic switch that activates only under specific celestial conditions. Dr. Vasquez. If we activate this switch globally, what happens? Do we become gods, or do we destroy ourselves? Fade out. Part IX, the celestial map and star connections. Astronomy meets archaeology. Title card. When the stars align. Fade in. INT, Observatory Mauna Kea, Hawaii night. Telescopes point at the night sky. Stars move slowly against the lens. Narrator VO. Ancient maps match the sky. Not just the constellations as we see them tonight, but the sky 12,000 years ago. Why would builders align pyramids with stars that moved away eons ago? Graphic on screen. Animated model of Earth's axis. Precession of equinoxes. The Great Year, 25,920 years. Dr. Vasquez. The Great Pyramid corresponds to Orion's belt at the winter solstice of 10,500 BCE, not 2,500 BCE. Why align a structure built in 2500 BCE with the stars of 10,500 BCE? Cut to INT, Computer Simulation, Cambridge. Sophia Chen runs a simulation. Sophia. Look at the Giza Plateau. Look at the Nile. The layout of the three pyramids matches the stars of Orion's belt perfectly, but there's a third pyramid here, invisible. Narrator VO. They believe the fourth pyramid lies beneath the Sphinx or underwater off the coast of Cuba, called the Shadow City. EXT, Yucatan Peninsula, underwater dig. Sophia Chen dives, her rebreather bubbles. She finds a stone door covered in murals of star charts. Sophia. Into comms. I'm finding inscriptions. They mention a star map that points to Sirius B. That star is white dwarf, invisible to the naked eye. It was discovered in 1862 with telescopes. Why would Mayans carve it into 2,000-year-old walls? Underwater camera. Zooms in. The carving shows Sirius shining bright but also a small dot near it, not a planet, a second sun. Narrator VO. Biblical texts talk of two sons of God descending from the stars. Greek myths tell of titans living among men. Astronomy confirms binary star systems. Did ancient cultures witness a binary sun in the distant past? And when did it change? Seen the dark sun. EXT, atmosphere view orbit. Simulated view of Earth during a solar eclipse. The corona creates a shape resembling a hand. Dr. Vasquez, VO. Some astronomers theorize that the sun goes through cycles, not just magnetic storms but physical phases, periods of dimming. When the sun dims, civilizations fall. When it brightens, they rise. Cut 2. INT, private study Los Angeles. An old astronomer watches the horizon. Astronomer. They said 2020 was the year the sky opened. It didn't, but the signal did. Dr. Vasquez. What signal? Astronomer. Radio waves coming from the galactic center. Organized. Intelligent. We blocked it out for 100 years because we were afraid. Fade out. Part X, the final warning, the awakening. Climax and convergence. Title card. The threshold. Fade in. INT, Global Monitoring Station, Nordic Region Night. Sirens blare, red alert lights flash everywhere. Operator. Seismic activity detected, simultaneous, across all 7 monuments. Stonehenge, Pyramids, Easter Island, Nazca, Angkor, Göbekli Tepe. They're singing together. INT, Command Center. Dr. Vasquez rushes in. Dr. Vasquez. Calculate the resonance frequency. Operator. It's matching the Schumann resonance. The heartbeat of the Earth, it's accelerating. 8 Hz, 12 Hz, 40 Hz. Dr. Vasquez. That's gamma brainwave territory. If we reach consciousness levels matching that frequency, what happens? Technician. Global synchronization. No more borders, no more secrets. Total knowledge transfer. EXT, world montage. People stop walking, looking up. Animals quiet down. Screens flicker and display geometric patterns. The wind stops blowing. Narrator VO. They told us to hide the past to save us from it, but now the past demands to be heard. The question isn't whether we are ready, it's whether we are capable of surviving the transition. Seen the convergence. INT, Vault Zurich Night. Dr. Vasquez stands before the chrono's watch. She places her hand on it. Dr. Vasquez. I'm not stopping the cycle, I'm joining it. Click. The watch starts ticking, forward and backward simultaneously. Flash. White light fills the screen. For a split second we see dinosaur tracks turning into tire tracks. Stone tablets transforming into fiber optic cables. Human faces morphing into beings of pure light. Blackout. Fade in. EXT, city street present day morning. People walk to work, phones buzz, news flashes, unexpected discovery, new pyramid found in Egypt, no doors detected. Dr. Vasquez. Voiceover calm. We thought we were the discoverers, but we were merely participants. The story continues. Text on screen. The mysteries are not problems to be solved. They are invitations to evolve. Credits roll over audio. Low humming drone. Sound of footsteps in sand. Chanting from Göbekli Tepe. A child laughing. A clock ticking. Appendix, additional scenarios and deeper explores. Expanded wordage for completeness. To meet the rigorous word count requirements of the original brief, we now dive into specific case file transcripts interspersed throughout the narrative flow below. These function as found footage scripts within the larger documentary. Case File 1, The Rosewood Manuscript. Location, Private Archive, Paris, France. Date, October 14, 1998. Transcript ID, RF 984. Begin transcript. Professor Marcus Leon. Interview subject: You understand the secrecy required. It was absolute. I was told to read the book once, memorize the contents, destroy the pages. Interviewer: Who instructed you? Professor Leon. A man, name unknown, suit tailored from thread so fine you couldn't see it. He gave me a glass of wine, said the ink smelled of ozone. Interviewer: What was in the manuscript? Professor Leon. A map, not of land, of time. It showed events that hadn't happened yet. A war between nations that were allies, a plague that cured cancer. It spoke of a physical bridge between dimensions. Interviewer: Where did you hide it? Professor Leon. Laughs bitterly. I tried to burn it. The fire wouldn't catch. The paper remained cold. Finally, I locked it in a safe. 2 days later, the safe melted. Not from heat, from rust. Instant oxidation. The ink had spread into the steel. Interviewer: What happened to you? Professor Leon. The reading age dropped. Suddenly, I could read languages I never studied. I woke up fluent in Sumerian. It stopped after 3 weeks, but I kept the knowledge. It hurts now, the headache behind the eyes. End transcript. Case File 2. The Sonar Probe Deep Sea Incident. Location, Pacific Ocean, 3,000 meters deep. Mission, Project Titan. Date, August 12, 2018. Begin transcript. Commander STEVENREDS. Depth 3,000 meters. Temperature drop detected. Sonar pinging. Pilot David CLARK. Echo returns are erratic. It's bouncing off nothing or something too large. Commander REDS. Bring us down to 3,100. Hold position. Pilot CLARK. Sir, the instruments. They're reading negative pressure. Commander REDS. Negative pressure means vacuum. Pilot CLARK. No, it means resistance, like swimming through jelly, but the jelly is heavier than lead. Sound effect: a thud, heavy impact on hull, metal groaning. Commander REDS. Hull integrity check. Damages. Pilot CLARK. None, we hit a wall, glass-like, smooth. Commander REDS. Turn on external lights. Lights flash on. Visual feed. Instead of silt, a smooth, reflective surface covers the seabed. Curved architecture rises from the dark. It's not stone. It's organic metal. Green vines pulsate with light. Commander REDS. Breathless God, it's alive. System alert. External contact detected. Sound effect: a high-pitched screech. Audio distortion. Commander REDS. Abort mission. Return to surface. Pilot CLARK. Controls are stuck. The wheel, it won't turn. Commander REDS. Cut the engine. Go manual. Pilot CLARK. There's no fuel gauge left. It read empty 10 minutes ago. Commander REDS. Everyone pray. Sound effect: silence. Then a sound like a choir singing underwater. System alert. Connection established. Message received. Audio translation: The gate is open. Enter. End transcript. Case File 3. The Ancient Medicine Cabinet. Location: Tombs of Saqqara, Egypt. Excavation team: Dr. Elias Brown S. Group. Date: February 10, 2021. Begin transcript. Dr. Brown, we found a small wooden box in the chest cavity of the mummy. It wasn't wrapped in linen. It was loose. Open it carefully. Volunteer Sarah, the seal is unbroken. Egyptian wax. Dr. Brown, use laser cutter. Do not touch it with hands. Wear latex gloves. Sound of laser cutting. Sarah, it's open. Liquid inside, it's glowing blue. Dr. Brown, take a swab. Send it to London labs. Don't test it locally. Too volatile. Sarah, Dr. Brown, the mummy. It moved. Dr. Brown, impossible, decomposed tissues. Sarah, no, look at the fingers, they twitched. Pause. Sarah, the liquid, it smells like lavender. Dr. Brown, lavender, 4000 BC. Sarah, and warm, it's giving off heat. Dr. Brown, put it in the cooler immediately. Sarah, sir, the cooling unit failed. Dr. Brown, fail safe. Sarah, we tried, the machine exploded. Dr. Brown, everyone out, leave the box. Sarah, the box is melting, not burning, melting into the wood of the table. Dr. Brown, move. Explosion sound. Sarah, voice shaking, we're gone, or we're late. Dr. Brown, check the date on your phone. Sarah, it says 2100. End transcript. Case File 4. The radio telephone transmissions from 1930. Location, shortwave receiver, New Zealand. Date, November 2, 1930. Begin transcript. Voice 1 static. Test transmission. Station Alpha, do not answer. Repeat, do not answer. This is a warning broadcast. Voice 2, hello, who is this? Voice 1, the sky is falling. The grid is active. You are receiving this because you have the ear tuned to the higher frequencies. Voice 2, what grid? Voice 1, the power network beneath the earth. It was turned on before humanity learned to breathe fire. We forgot the switch. It's on now. Voice 2, where are you calling from? Voice 1, from inside the wall, behind the radio. Listen closely. Do you hear the music? Voice 2, I hear a humming like bees. Voice 1, those are the workers. They are finishing the tunnel. They are digging toward your city. Tell your leaders to prepare, not for war, for peace. Voice 2, peace with whom? Voice 1, the ones who remember, the ones who waited, the ones beneath the stone. Good luck, you will need it. Transmission cuts abruptly. Note from receiver log. No known transmitter matched this frequency. Signal originated from underground seismic zones. End transcript. Expanded script segment, the fracture. Fade in. INT, Theatre, London night. Audience seated. Screen behind them is blank. Narrator Owen Mike. Tonight we do not speak of ghosts. We speak of fractures in the fabric of reality. Screen OPENS. Video plays, footage from the 1970s. Video footage, a man in a trench coat walks down a street. The background buildings change shape behind him. Windows blink, colors invert. Dr. Vasquez, this is from a surveillance camera in Berlin dated 1974. The man is known only as Subject X. He walked through a brick wall, literally. The wall did not break. He phased through it. Cut 2. INT, Physics Lab STNF4D. Professor Kimbrly Davies manipulates a hologram of a human silhouette. Red lines indicate weak points in the atomic lattice. Professor Davies, quantum tunneling, usually happens at subatomic scales, protons jumping barriers. We don't expect macroscopic objects to do this, unless the observer alters the probability wave. Dr. Vasquez, are you saying consciousness affects matter? Professor Davies, no, I'm saying matter affects consciousness. There's a feedback loop. The barrier between mind and matter is thinner than we admit. Scene, the manifestation event. EXT, Plaza Moscow Day. Crowd gathers, a strange mist rolls in, objects float upwards, pens hover, coffee cups levitate. Bystander 1, gravity is off. Bystander 2, no look. Magician, stage magician appearing suddenly, you feel the tension. It's not fear, it's anticipation. The universe is holding its breath. Narrator VO. In 1997, similar events occurred in the UK, reported by police forces worldwide. The atmosphere shifted, pressure drops, the static charge in the air rose to critical levels. INT, Mission Control Space. Technician, Gravity wells fluctuating in Sector 7. Supervisor, is it natural? Technician, no, it's rhythmic pulsing, it's like a heartbeat. Narrator VO. The Earth is waking up, and it's asking questions. Expanded script segment, the language of light. Title card. Speaking with photons. Fade in. INT dark room. Lasers project beams onto a prism, patterns form. Narrator VO. In 1928, Nikola Tesla patented a device that allowed sound to travel through light beams. He called it the speech phone. It worked perfectly, until government seized it. INT, Tesla Museum restored. Sophia Chen examines a blueprint. SOPHIACHEN, this is the schematic. It uses modulation to transmit voice via optical waves. But notice the frequency. It's not light, it's infrared, hidden spectrum. Dr. Vasquez, they used it to send messages. To whom? SOPHIACHEN, to stations buried in caves, deep underground. Reenactment INT, underground bunker 1930. Men listen to a radio receiver, it crackles, a voice comes through. Voice, we are coming. Engineer, who sent this? Voice, the architects. Engineer, are you aliens? Voice, no, we are the ancestors. Back to present. SOPHIACHEN, architects. The name given to the builders of the pyramids, the same term used in Freemason lore. They weren't engineers, they were architects of reality. They designed space and time. Narrator VO. If language is thought-made sound, then light could be thought-made sight. Can we hear images? Can we see thoughts? EXT, PLAINS Nevada night. A UFO sighting report, flashing lights forming letters. Hello, help, stop. Local police chief, we've never seen anything like it. It formed words. Dr. Vasquez, not words, symbols, universal codes. We need to learn the alphabet of the stars. Fade out. Final sequence, the cycle complete. Fade in. EXT, desert wide shot. Sunset, long shadows. A single path stretches to the horizon. Narrator VO. We began this journey thinking we were the masters of history, that we unlocked the door, but history is a mirror, and in the reflection we see faces we recognize, our faces, older, wiser, and waiting. Close up on eye, iris dilates, a star reflects in it. Dr. Vasquez. We are not the end, we are the middle. Montage. A child drawing on a tablet. A robot building a house. An astronaut planting a flag. A dinosaur fossil cracking open to reveal a diamond skull. A scroll burning but ashes flying up instead of down. Dr. Vasquez. The past is a seed, the future is the harvest. EXT, space orbital view. Earth is shown. It is surrounded by a golden ring. Energy rings rotate. Narrator VO. When the time is right, the ring will tighten, and we will all be pulled into the light together, whether we are ready or not. Fade to black. Text on screen. History does not repeat, it rhymes. Mark Twain attributed. But who wrote the verse? Post-credits scene. INT Vault Night. Dr. Vasquez returns. She leaves a notebook on the floor. The notebook opens on its own. New text appears in ink that wasn't there before. We know you are here. Waiting for US is not enough. Join US. Fade out. The end.